Okay.
We're good to go?
Yeah,
Welcome back. Are you doing the welcomes to this?
I can. Welcome back to this episode. Today is Monday, and that means weekly news.
It does. Weekly news. So this is a VC's opinion where I, as a VC, comment on some news topics. And today we've got an interesting one that I know that you have all wanted us to talk again about because we released a video, we'll link it above, about, what, Rufus?
Clubhouse.
That's
and
right.
They just relaunched it on Android.
They did. They just finally brought out the Android app. That was the biggest criticism of them for the last, 6 months, because they've only really been thriving for 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And, it's been a while, actually, if you think about them launching last year in March and then, going into sort of more a widespread European launch, international launch at end of last year. And moving into 2021, they were always talking about this Android app was coming. And now it finally has come.
Yes. And that's, and I'm an Android user.
You are. But that's funny, actually, because I've been doing Clubhouses on Thursday nights, and you've never been able to join them because you're an Android user. Because Apple's cooler, let's be honest.
But I don't know if I'm going to actually download it and use it.
That's interesting. Why not? All this hype, all this build-up for months and months and months, and you're not thinking about downloading Android Clubhouse? You can finally do it, Rufus. Why not?
I know, but the thing is, I love to just download the shows I want to listen to and listen to it when it's convenient for me to listen to it.
Yeah. So you're an on-demand preference customer, right? You want to listen to things when you. That's why you like podcasts, I guess.
I love it. I download all the podcasts I listen to, so I can do it when I have the time for it because I like to schedule my time. I don't like to be scheduled on a time.
But this is funny because this is one of the biggest weaknesses and strengths of what Clubhouse has built, which is that, like I said in our former video, that I think one of Clubhouse's secrets to their own success and what would work for them is if they can crack the code on building a consumer habit. So, for example, if we were doing this weekly show on a Monday at, say, 1 p.m., we would promote that, and we could do that on Clubhouse at 1 p.m., right? And then people could just tune in to know that. And I mean, it's exciting because obviously, if you tune in at 1 p.m., you can always you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's there, and if you miss it, you miss it. Like you won't believe who came today and what Matt and Rufus spoke about. But like you're saying, you'd rather just have convenience. And to be honest, we live in a world of convenience and consumer expectation that we have control, right? So I guess Clubhouse is being a bit contrarian there, but I know a lot of people like that.
That's true. And I also have the feeling that the hype and the app was something that was there for like 1 to 2 months, and now it's like almost gone. I don't see Clubhouse everywhere on social anymore. I don't see it. So I don't know if it's people is on Clubhouse actually. And in this article as well, you see that trends of downloading the apps is like going through the roof, and now it's like almost flat.
So what Rufus is referring to is I'm looking at a TechCrunch article right now that he just shared with me, which is basically talking about how Clubhouse has now finally launched their Android app, right? They did a big announcement in their kind of town hall, they call it, which is sort of the Silicon Valley word for a big meeting and a big office. It was like where Apple would do their town hall and things like that. And if you look at their downloads, it's basically, like going from December 20 to January 2021, it's like increasing. And then it has this massive growth between February and March 2021, where March, it basically drops down to the January figures in terms of downloads, like new downloads, right? So it's basically got this peak. Now, the untrained eye, I think, could look at this and think, oh, well, it's dead in the water, right? But there's two things that I want to talk about today in reference to this slide. Now, we'll put it above here so you can see it. Is that one is the Gartner hype cycle. Let's not forget about the Gartner hype cycle. Rufus, do you know what the Gartner hype cycle is?
No, I don't. Please explain.
The Gartner hype cycle is basically it's a branded graphical presentation developed by the American research advisory and sort of information technology firm Gartner. So Gartner, that's the company what they do, and they created this to represent the maturity, adoption, and social application of specific technologies. So think about this, like when any new technology is created that's never been seen before, it's frontier technology, blockchain, Bitcoin, AI, machine learning, when big data was the thing, the internet, all these things, right? There's a massive spike in early adopters getting super excited about the hype, and they call this phase the innovation trigger. So there's an innovation trigger. So for example, the innovation trigger in this instance was to be honest, that was COVID, actually. That was really the innovation trigger, which is interesting. So innovation triggers don't just have to be new technologies, because audio only isn't like new. It's been done. It's just obviously had a systematic, specific risk from society that meant that this product and this innovation was perfectly primed, right? Then you have this peak of inflated expectations, right? So along this massive spike. Now, if you look at these downloads, that's exactly what it looks like. It's this massive spike, a little lead in and massive spike, right? We all remember Clubhouse has been the talk of the town in all the news channels for the last year or so. Less so now, obviously, maybe now, so actually more so because of the Android release, right? And then if you look at the downloads, obviously there's the trough of disillusionment, right? So there's this trough of disillusionment, and this timeline is time along the bottom axis, along the x-axis, and expectations are on the y-axis. So when Clubhouse kicked off, so many people had the craziest expectations, right? And then all of a sudden, we're in this trough of disillusionment, because now if you look at the downloads, it's a lot lower, right? Like the downloads have dropped per month, right? But let's not forget that things can settle. Like, you've hit your threshold market, and also just bear in mind that like seeing day on day, month on month, year on year downloads are not representative of who and how many people are using the product. Because if they had, I don't know how many downloads they've had now, but it must be in the hundreds of millions, like maybe 150, I don't know, maybe more. Yeah. Right? If you have 150 million people download the app in this perfect linear spike or exponential spike, right? And so if we were looking at the same graph matched against the active user base, like monthly active user, daily active user basis, which is actually how you really measure the worth of a social media platform, I bet, and I don't know, I can't say, I haven't seen the data, you might see the same spike as downloads and then a plateau. So for all we know, looking at the amount of people downloading this product, first and foremost, this product is also for a specific type of person, someone who wants to listen to conversations. Not you. You said you want on demand. You want to listen to it when you want to listen to it, right? So Clubhouse is not for you. I downloaded Clubhouse and I really got involved in it. And I was doing Clubhouses and rooms and stuff like that. And then, to be honest, the fact that I work in a game and an industry where we want to repurpose content. So like if we went live right now on Clubhouse doing this conversation, we couldn't reuse it. And it might be a great conversation that we want to cut up to repurpose on social media, such as Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, right? Yeah. So that's been the big, and that's why I stopped using Clubhouse, because it's ephemeral. It's like Snapchat was.
It's lost. It's
right here today, gone when it's finished, right? Yeah. And that's part of the attraction as well. Let's not forget that, right? But so that's why I stopped using it. And I say to this day, I stopped using Clubhouse. I dropped in the other day to show someone about it. And
have you seen anyone that's like really passionate about Clubhouse?
Now, this is what I want to talk about, because Clubhouse, yes, it had this massive hype. Yes, it had this massive spike in downloads, and I'm definitely not one of those users. Even if they've dropped, say they had 150 million downloads and they dropped a third, they dropped 100 million of those. They've got 50 million daily active users, for example, or monthly active users. And these people might be diehard fans. Now, I had a party on Friday night in my flat that we're recording this in, and a friend of mine was there, and he is a diehard fan, because I have several friends of mine as well who are influencers in different ways, thought leaders as well as just influencers. And they said it took them 10 years to get to like 30,000 followers on Instagram and other places. It took them 3 months to get 30,000, followers on this new growing channel, Clubhouse, right? So they've also built this new audience and community, which who are engaging with them. And Clubhouse is obviously going to evolve in how to, and they said this in our last video as well, they said they're going to try to empower creators to monetize their community. Because here's the biggest hint to everyone. If you ever want to create a brand and monetize that, you need to apply the 3C strategy: content, community, commerce. Content, create content, build a community out of that content community. Second C. And what's the third one? Monetization, commerce, e-commerce, whatever it might be. You need to convert something, right? So you create content to build a community, and then you monetize that community. That is what every YouTuber is doing with Patreon and selling merch. And that's what every influencer is trying to do. Clubhouse has promised that it will allow these people to do that. So I don't think anyone who's built an audience up, and also those who have audiences on Instagram and other channels are using Clubhouse because they know they might be able to monetize on that channel. So I think Clubhouse still has an advantage. So looking at this slide and this document about the monthly downloads dropping, right? Yeah, that's fair. Maybe no one ever downloads Clubhouse ever again. It's $1 billion business in a year, super overhyped, right? But if it had 150 million downloads in that first year, and only 30 million of those people become monthly active users, daily active users, hourly, whatever active users, right? That's still a lot. And if you start to get a few of those people to pay a little bit of money to have exclusive access to shows, Clubhouse said they were going to help some of the shows financially, so like support shows. So let's not write Clubhouse off just yet. Remember the Gartner hype cycle, Rufus.
Yeah, that's true. You said I was gonna curve up again, right?
A reminder, there's the innovation trigger. So in this case, the innovation trigger was the fact that, I know that Clubhouse was actually they started to build it before COVID, and COVID was the market and the societal trigger, but they started to create the product, and the innovation trigger there was like audio only. We have pictures only, we have video only, we have on-demand audio only, but they were bringing radio and live shows back to an ephemeral context, right? FOMO, if you missed it, you missed it, right? Innovation trigger, bang, COVID. They hit the peak of downloads. And obviously, remember one thing as well, like Clubhouse, whilst they pitch it as a product for everyone, it's like any social media product. It's a multiplier effect. If you're interested in a topic or a theme, and it doesn't exist on Clubhouse, you won't go into Clubhouse to listen to anything because there's nothing there for you. But if you start that thing, you've got a vested interest in kind of creating and growing it. And if your friends are there and your friends are recommending you, then you're more likely to get there. That's why they were very smart at the beginning in making it recommendation based, and you had to be invited, because people like to invite people. They like to feel special. People like to get invited because they feel special, and then they like to pass on the torch and say, I'm going to invite you to Clubhouse. I'll give you one of my invites, right? And that was a great way to build the product. So they had this massive hype. It's expected that their downloads would drop unless they brought out sexy new features, because the product was, as far as it was going to get, the beta version at the beginning then. So I can't imagine, unless they start bringing out crazy new features that you get paid every single time you do one, or you get paid for listening, people are either going to drop off or downloads are going to stop to happen, because also it was initially built for like sort of technology and creative industries. They were the early adopters. Now, there's a really good book from Peter Thiel, one of the founders of, it was one of the PayPal mafia with Elon Musk and stuff like that. He's also the guy, a very famous investor. He's invested in many very successful companies.
You're talking about 0 to 1, right?
Exactly, 0 to 1. And it's talking about early adopters. Now, that industry that Clubhouse launched into is an early adopters. So you were going to have a massive spike. They're all app downloaders.
But one thing I want to ask you about with Clubhouse, I feel is a mouth-to-mouth product, because all the data...
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yes.
Mouth to mouth. I
Mouth
like
to
that.
mouth, yeah.
We should get that going. What do you think of Rufus's mouth to mouth? Let us know in the comments if we think, is it a mouth to mouth kind of product or a word of mouth?
A word of mouth.
What would be a mouth to mouth product? Tinder.
Yeah.
You should, or like,
yeah,
but mouth to mouth, we have to get this going.
But what I'm wondering is, on Clubhouse, all the data is getting lost. So for creators, it's pretty hard to build up a backtrack of what they've been producing. Like, when you go on an Instagram profile, you can go there and like, okay, I like this profile because of what they've been producing. So when you go to Clubhouse, you don't see anything. And for me, at least, that's a problem, because then I have to tune in on that hour. But as we said previously, I'm a on-demand person. But I also feel that to grow on Clubhouse, it's a word of mouth product. So people have to tell other people about this person and about this creator to actually grow there. And I feel that's a big pain point when all the data is getting lost.
Should do, if they haven't already, is have been recording all these sessions already, because as far as I'm concerned, they're not like deleted, they're just not recorded. They're just not recorded. They give you it's like having a Zoom chat without clicking record. It's like they're like Zoom, they let you have a chat, and then without video, obviously, right? If I were Clubhouse, I would have at least maybe been tracking some of these and things like that, or recording many of them, or actually recording them all already, just not, well, they can't legally not tell us, but what I mean by that is that then they go to the channels and the shows that have already taken, that have hit off and things like that, and say, hey, basically pay $5, $20 a month, and you have access to all your formerly recorded ones that you never thought were recorded, and you're like, oh my God, I can repurpose them. Because think about it this way, like think about what TikTok did, right? A lot of people would make a TikTok, and then remember when TikTok first launched, on Instagram stories, it was loads of people's TikToks. They would just they would download the video from TikTok, and what did TikTok do? Every video you took off TikTok had their watermark in it. Mm-hmm. So basically, people went and shared the videos, and you think that like TikTok should have been like, no, like Facebook and all these other channels, they don't want you to go off into other channels and repurpose your videos, right? They want you to stay on their channel and spend all your time there, and then they can get those daily active users and then the facts and figures and the numbers up, right? The KPIs up, key performance indicators. But what TikTok did, which is genius, is they said, yeah, download all the videos you want, but when you download it, we're going to automatically embed the video with a watermark that says TikTok that you can't take off.
Smart.
So then you go share all the videos you want on all the other channels. So then everyone else who's not sure about TikTok is like, this person's posting great videos. I keep seeing great things. The best things I keep seeing on Instagram are on TikTok. So TikTok's marketing on Instagram, which is brilliant, on Facebook. And maybe that's what Clubhouse should do. They should let people record them. They don't have to go to video. I guess maybe also like they want to build some defensibility instead of going like, oh, now we're doing video and now we're doing that. They want to stay audio, but maybe they, allow people to subscribe to, like what YouTube did with Patreon. Yeah. Subscribe to our Patreon page for special videos, secret content, yada, yada, yada. They could do for audio.
That is smart. But to get back to the news article that actually Clubhouse is launching on Android right now, do you think that Android users will have the same spike as iPhone users had? Because the hype is pretty much over and no one is talking about Clubhouse that much as they used to do. And I feel also the Android users are like, why get into it now? It's been like a pretty late news. So do you think they will have the same user base as iPhone user had? And what do you think the growth will be for Android?
It's an interesting one because obviously, like if you look at the downloads on the document we've looked at, there's a massive spike and a trough there, right? But the question is, at the beginning when they launched, they were launching to a market of like entertainment and music people, and they all have Apple because Apple's cool. Let's be honest, it is just Apple. Apple is cooler. It's an extension of your personal brand, really. It is. I support this. I'm cool. Steve, love you, bro. Both Wozzy and Jobs. Android owners tend to be the more tech savvy people. Actually, if most developers like coders and people who work in tech have Android because it is in many cases a better product, right? A better phone, and it's just like you're paying for the brand in Apple. But I mean, if you believe in brands and things like that, then you also pay for the brand because that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know because maybe now a whole new because like the thing about Clubhouse, it's a platform which enables people, brands, industries, whoever to talk about those topics to anyone, anywhere, anytime. So maybe there are industries like right now, all the things I see are like meditation, Burning Man, tech, startup, entrepreneurs. Like those are the people who are the early adopters, the people who have the iPhones and the and things like that, right? Now, maybe you're going to see people talking about coding and like, kind of more technical stuff. I'm sure there's people on there already doing that, but like, it could be interesting that people, what it'd be really interesting to know is actually if you were to track what shows become the most successful in the next 6 months, and that is a direct result of Android users. And so you could actually really, this is like a social litmus test of like what kind of people have iPhones. Everything that's happened on, I mean, this is me just throwing out some like hypothesis here. Like, a lot of the things that I've seen on Clubhouse are like entertainment based, social media based, startup entrepreneurial based, B2C, business to consumer based, brand based, and things like that, right? Movie based, etc. Right? The cool LA hip crowd, which is kind of what Clubhouse initially was born on, like rappers and things like that. Yeah. Now, if you start to see the shows that start to fill and populate that because of the Android downloads, maybe it'll start to become about you could actually look at like this is the your iPhone users are these type of people, Android users are these kind of people. Yeah, that could be interesting. Actually,
that could be very interesting
to see what all of a sudden they're doing shows on anthropology. I mean, maybe they haven't had them already, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're doing shows on being a professor. I don't know. It would be funny to see that there's like a divide of people who are creative on iPhones and the people who are intellectuals or technically creative in a different kind of context. I don't know. Hypothesis, maybe.
And you guys, please let us know what do you guys think of the Android versus the iPhone on the growth. Will this be a platform for Android or will it just be mainly iPhone almost, even if they launched on Android? What do you guys think? Please comment in the comment section. And I think that's pretty much it from this episode and this news article.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you have a wonderful week. We have some really cool content coming out this week. Rufus, what have we got? VC reactions coming on Friday.
Yes.
We have a really cool vlog about our surf vlog coming out this week. What else do we have coming, Rufus?
We have Barner Brands weekly test tomorrow.
We do, because I've been testing out these Barner brands, and Rufus has too. And we're going to release tomorrow our 7-day trial of how that has affected our sleep, our daily processes, and how in general it's been using this product as like a proper kind of product test and review. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please like the video, but if you really enjoyed our channel, please give us a subscribe. We're trying to grow this and we need your support to do so. Ciao.
Bye.